I'm Davey.
I'm Misty.
DMWATS.
Unscripted.
Unedited.
Unapologetic.
Let's get it.
All right, here we go. What's going on, everybody? I'm Davey.
I'm Misty.
And welcome to another episode of DMWATS podcast, guys. So you guys may have noticed that immediately
we came back.
we came back.
We came right back.
Saw the lighting was a little bit off on the other one, so we were like,
And we liked it.
We did like
we did it to prove a point about ASMR. And yeah, we love it. And maybe one day it'll be a thing, but not today.
Yeah, not for that was just different.
It was weird. It was creepy for us too.
Yeah,
we're used to our background.
Yeah, we were kind of used to. And then, like I said, the sound was off. The lighting seemed off too. We tried our best to fix it. We're like, we'll let that one go, but we're coming back to this.
Yeah.
We're coming back to this. So anyway, we're back. So getting into it, the blue and yellow, y'all know what it is. We are still about Ukraine. You guys make sure you're supporting those people over there in that country right now. Make sure you guys check us out on DMWATSpodcast.com. That's where y'all can find us. We got merch over there. If you didn't notice, we got some merch over there. And that's also where you can check out our NFTs and stuff like that. You guys make sure you check us out on other streaming services. Thanks for looking at us on YouTube, but don't forget, we're on all the streaming services too. If you're on the road and you can't look at us on YouTube, we're on all the streaming services also.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Also, make sure you like and subscribe. So moving on. Oh yeah, the service dog. Lisa, the service dog, says hello.
And she said hello before we said that because for the camera, she just moved the camera.
She just moved the camera. Okay, so there's that. So
let's get into
Let's get into it. Let's go ahead into this fishbowl, see what we may yank out. It is my turn. See what we got here. So what's it like being an interracial couple?
Oh, again, nice and light for your Tuesday.
Of course, it is. What's it like being an interracial couple? So I think this may be a short episode because
I think so
I feel
too.
like I sum it up and saying it's great. Next topic.
Yeah, it's so funny because I forget, like you forget I have pink hair.
Yeah.
I forget we're interracial. You're you and I'm me. And
that's all
it was weird. We had an incident one day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had a couple of incidents, but every time they happen, I always think it's because I have pink hair.
Yeah, we have to get reminded. Which incident are you talking about?
Well, okay, let's start with the bar. Let's start with the worst ones.
Yeah.
Let's start with the worst ones.
Let's start with the worst ones, the bar, right? So
and let's be transparent.
Right.
Who were the ones that were giving us the worst time?
It was mostly the Black people, the African Americans, whatever you want to talk about it.
Men or women?
Yeah, women. It was typically the African American Black women.
I don't know why they hated me so much.
Yeah.
We were friends until they found out I was married to him.
Yes.
And then I became enemy number one.
Yeah.
And I would sit there and go, hey, don't forget, you're sitting in our establishment and I'm pouring you a very stiff drink. So
exactly.
Be nice to your bartenders.
Yeah.
You don't know who owns the bar. Exactly.
And that is one of many. Because clear transparency, right? One of the women in there, it happened to be a late night, was talking about how she can't stand all these white women taking all the Black men. That was one of the things that she said. She can't stand all the white women taking.
And you were there for that.
Yeah, all the black men. Mind you, the woman that was talking about this was in our bar and didn't realize that we knew. She was actually in there prostituting herself. So she was there to pick up guys for money. So complaining about the white women marrying all the black men.
And in no way are we saying that Black women complain about it more. I'm just saying when we heard about it in our bar, it was the women that just would go from nice to hateful on me. Yeah. And of course I treat everybody respectfully. So I just whatever. Yeah. But it was always a shock to me.
Yeah. But, even from the other side of that, right? I have the Black men that's like, hey, yeah, you got you a white woman, what's up. I'm like, no, I got me a woman I fell in love with. That's what I got. A woman I don't see color. If anything, it was pink.
He saw the flashing neon sign. That is my hair.
So I got me, and I have to say, and I think me and you discussed this probably some months ago. That's how little it come up in this household. That's how little we think about it. Wasn't it? I can't remember what state it was that just made it legal, probably within the past decade or
Alabama.
two. It was Alabama that just made it legal.
I was just thinking that, and I'm going to bring it up just so I know, but it's one of those, had we met in 98, we wouldn't have been allowed to get married.
They just made it legal. I say decades, so probably, 2 or 3 decades ago, which it's crazy, right? To think about that. As of the 80s, it was still illegal for you to be an interracial couple, to marry outside your race in Alabama. I say the 80s, but she's looking it up just to clarify what I'm saying. But either way, you would think that, something like that at this time period, why is it even still a discussion?
So apparently, and we're both wrong. Maybe it's just that they're no longer punishing people for it. But this is a news article updated May 27th, 2021. Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That the Constitution still prohibits interracial marriage, integrated schools, and the committee is to begin revisions. And I believe that's the Alabama Constitution.
Wow, that's from last year. I thought when you were looking up, you were about to tell me that no, we're both wrong. It was way longer than that ago.
Right.
So as of 2021, in Alabama's Constitution, it is still illegal for interracial marriage.
For us to be married.
Now, granted, they don't. That's not something that they.
Just because it's in their constitution or just because it's a law doesn't mean anybody's enacting on it.
Right.
A lot of states have laws like that, but it's the fact that it still even has to be in a discussion and passed through a house. Man, what's wrong with us?
That's right.
I get to have a podcast and talk to you guys all over the world and through my phone or through my computer and have all this social media and send money to you and you can send it to me and we don't have to go to a bank. We have all these futuristic things. And this is still an issue.
Yeah.
This makes no sense to me.
So that's why
he's a man.
Yeah.
I'm a woman.
And that's why we get really.
I thought a lot of you people would be happy about that.
You know what I mean? But that's where we get really weirded out with a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, man, like this day and age, like you still are tripping on interracial couple. And I'm glad you mentioned
on a color of skin.
I'm glad you mentioned a man and she's a woman. But we take it a step further. Okay, I'm okay with you being gay, but it has to be same race gay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
and
what?
Again, why does here we go. Why does sex come into anything? I don't care. What you do in the bedroom or who you're attracted to is your business, not mine.
Yeah.
And 2, what matter is the color of our skin. This again makes no sense to me. Are you a good human?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what it should boil down to.
That's all I care about.
Does your woman or man or whatever pronoun that they're using, do they treat you correctly?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it boils down to. Are you getting treated correctly? But here's what's terrible about this. Because you can we're going to go on with our life and be like, hey, we don't care what anybody says. But here's the problem. Eventually, you're going to come across some people, group or whatever, who seriously is like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is this?
In some remote places of the country.
In some remote places of the country, it's still considered like, wait, that's real taboo, you guys.
That we wouldn't go to anyways, not willingly anyways.
Yeah, so I have to talk about it. The other part of this, I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, no, I was just going to say, for a reminder of people, Loving versus Virginia is the landmark civil case that allowed interracial marriage in Virginia. I think
that just came up about a month or two ago, wasn't it? It was on CBS this morning or something like the Sunday News or something like that.
Yeah, there's a thing, but it's because of this couple, the Lovings, that we are allowed to even be married. And I just find that crazy that there's somebody that actually had to go through all of this before us just so I could declare my love for you in public.
Yeah. And they got married secretly, right? Or something like that. They got married secretly.
No, I think they went to a different state where it was legal.
And then moved to Virginia where it wasn't.
But it became a civil rights issue and went all the way up the chain of that stuff. Yeah. So let me Court stuff.
Well, let me touch on this real quick. So I had to say this. So what's it like being an interracial couple? on one end, I'll say that we don't know because
we don't pay attention.
We don't pay attention to being an interracial couple. Now let's talk about our differences as husband and wife, coming from different sides of the world or the country, different sides of the country. Like, hey, different foods that we like, different things that we like to do,
which is no different than anybody else.
Right. Those are the things.
I think, in people, I didn't mean to.
Go ahead.
But people sit there and they're like, okay, but what about culturally?
Yeah. Well, it's wonderful.
Yeah, because we're really wonderful. The same. He was raised the same way I was.
Yeah, but
deeply into the church, strict family. I mean,
yeah. But also understand this, even if we weren't coming from the same, even if we came from two different places, that would be just as wonderful because it's like, hey, I get to find out what it's like, how certain other people believe.
Right. It's an exploration.
And it's an exploration in what you're doing. So that's why we come to look at things and be like, that don't make no damn sense.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What's it like to, so
go ahead. No, because we have so much to say and nothing at all.
And that's
which
why.
Is very us.
It is. So we kind of did something like this on a friend of ours called The Actual King Smith. He actually interviewed me on a segment he has called Chats with Dads.
Yeah, look it up.
We'll
put a link.
Yep, The Actual
this
King
time,
Smith.
I promise we'll put a link.
Yep, and so it's called The Actual King Smith. He did an episode on what's it like being in a blended family. A blended family. That's the new interracial couple / type thing. If you ask me, that's what that is. And
really, I guess I viewed it as like, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, no. But it comes from everywhere. Blended family mean, hey, different races, right? They're raised in different types of homes, with different beliefs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I did that, and obviously that question did come up, like, hey, has there been an issue with you two being an interracial couple?
Right.
Like, hey, you may have been brought up some way, you may have been brought up with another. And I believe that when you marry outside of your race, one, you shouldn't even think of it that way. But when you marry outside of your race, I mean, just exploring that is to me, it's an adventure, and it's amazing because I get to find out how other people, come up, their culture, because we're all different. We're all going to be different races.
Sure.
Right. And so
we're all blended.
So, but it's not going to be a race thing. It's going to be like, hey, your culture is this. Right. Because my wife isn't white, she's Portuguese.
Well, but technically,
but I'm just saying, like, but that's what I'm saying. They just say, no, you're white, you're black.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Nigerian.
It's so weird. It's so weird. I'm a human with a bloodline of. I think that's what I would like to hear from now on.
What's your bloodline?
Yeah, what's your bloodline?
Not what race are you? Like, you're black, right? No, what's your bloodline?
What's your bloodline? Because I think that's more important to the person.
Mm-hmm.
It's more important to me that I'm Portuguese, and that I have all these different roots everywhere than it is that the color is the color of my skin. Yeah. Although, as we found out, apparently I have vitiligo. Who knew? Yeah. And that's not a joke.
It's not. No, he's brown in certain places.
But don't worry, I'm not going to Jada him. I'm not going to give him a look and say, don't make fun of my patch.
That's not going to happen. So, but to the people who are listening to this, we call it double R, randomly racial, right? But it's not random, because when this topic came up, it kind of stung a little bit to those people who are, secretly randomly racial. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To where it's like, that I don't really agree with this. I don't really agree with this. You got to ask yourself, if the color of my skin is what you have an issue with, not the person who we are, then is it really us that is wrong?
Yeah.
Because you're judging us. Is it us that has a problem? You're making the judgment before you even, because let's face it, there are even religious groups that are against that. There are even religious groups out there that's like, no, you're over there. And I'm like, there's nowhere in the Bible where you can tell me that that's okay, unless you wrote it yourself. You know what I mean? Unless you taken things out of context of the Bible and went from there.
Oh, which they all have.
They do.
So
they do.
I The 10-year-olds in us just
they
totally
do that.
Acknowledged your
they do
statement.
that. So I'm just
wow. But yeah, and that's a topic for another day.
It is.
We need to put that in the fishbowl, actually. How people take things out of context. I could do a 4-part lecture series on that. But last year, a record 15% of new marriages were interracial.
Look at that. Now let me ask you this: when you
15% though, that's
a lot.
Really, I think that's really low.
Yeah, I think it's a lot. But when you, I guess it all depends on when you look at the number. You know, I guess when you look at 15% of what. So, but no, I have to say that when it comes to that though, the racial makeup of it all, but why is that important? Like, why is it important?
I don't know,
looking at playing devil's advocate, the people who, like, if I was to jump on the other side and say, no, needs to be, unless it's black, it's whack. Unless it's white, it ain't right. So,
wow.
You know what I'm saying? And let's jump it on the other sides, of that. You know, if I was to jump on that side and like, no, if you don't marry within your race, if I'm as a black man, if I don't marry a black woman, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? You are wrong. And I'm gonna try to understand where I would come from with that. And even I've seen some people post it on Facebook too. You know, like, no, you marry your black queen, this and this and that. Don't marry. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So understanding where they're coming from, is it like a diminishing of the race itself? Is that
right?
What people think? Like, what, the black people are gonna just randomly be diminished if I don't continue the race?
Well, I mean, we all know.
I mean,
in the next, was it what did I just read that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, over the I can't remember how many years.
It was like 40 years, I think.
Yeah.
There was that white would be the minority. And I can't remember what it was going to be, like Spanish, Mexican, and black. I mean, it's going to be a mixed race. So why do we concentrate so much on race if we know that's coming to an end? And that is the true hopefully the carriers of this. You got something in your drink?
Yes, the doggy treats that I was trying to throw.
This is why you shouldn't throw, my love.
Yep.
Okay. But anyways, I think this is what the younger generation, millennials, and whoever comes after you, that is your plight. That is what you guys really should be working on, is to make sure that there is no flipping racism anymore, because it is absolutely stupid. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. It does not matter who they are, what color skin they are. They're still a human being. And we've got to wipe this away, especially if we know that in the next 40 years, there's not going to be one race anymore. We're all going to be mixed together. We're a melting pot. That is what America is.
Yes. So,
I don't know why we're the only ones that have accepted that.
I have a question in pertaining to this. Would you say that, homosexuality, LGBTQ, the movement that is that, would you say that that's the new interracial
absolutely it is,
because that's what it seems like to me.
It is. However, I forget who said it, but somebody said it wasn't me, that hey, can we fix this first? Yes, we will recognize you as a group, but can we also work on this, because this still hasn't been solved in pertaining to racism. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, we recognize that there is, wow, I've really just forgotten my words today. Discrimination against people with different sexual orientations. We recognize that, and we got to work on that too, but we need to fix the racism thing first. There's a lot left undone, or not done, and we need to take care of that.
Absolutely. And it seems like we keep swapping back and forth with the issues. Like, we could never have a straight up issue anymore, right? Well, because they're frivolous issues. Well, to me, it seems like they're frivolous issues. It's like, is this really important? Race, somebody's sexual orientation, is that really important? Now, granted, that's a whole nother topic, because when you start talking about LGBTQ, they're demanding more rights and this and that. So there's different things that come with that.
They should get them.
They should already be equal. Who cares about that?
That's what I'm what I'm saying.
Already
it's just like
right.
interracial or black and white, or whatever you identify to be. Seriously, absolutely. Whatever you identify to be, I don't care if it's sex or race, or the color of your skin, we should all be treated equally anyways.
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah. And that's what it boils down to. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Like, look, man, like if you're a black person and you're treating a white person a certain way because he's white, like, would you want to be treated that way?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you were a black person growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood or a white school or something like that, and they were making fun of you, you know what I'm saying? You don't want them to treat you that way. So why would you go and treat the other person that way too?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but
and I just need it said, I'm going to say this on my part right now. If you're a woman that's coming up to me, I don't care how well you think your intentions are, and you're asking me about being married to a black man and what's that like, and is this your first black man, and all these questions, I'm just going to assume that you're incredibly ignorant. And I'm going to treat you as such. I'll treat you nice, but I'm not first going to tell you anything about my husband, because that's my husband and this is my covenant.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't ask any other person.
Yeah.
That.
Well, you also got to understand, like, if we're there and if we're together and they were to ask her that, clearly I would feed into that. Like, don't you be talking to her. You know what it is. You're not allowed to talk to that woman. What'd I say? Get up out my face, woman.
Eat the cake at me. Eat the cake. Well, and I hate the assumptions, because people do assume, like, you can just feel it when you're just walking down the aisle. It's this weird unspoken assumption that, we said it a few weeks ago on our podcast, people look at us and they look at me like, are you okay?
Yes, they do that a lot.
And I'm the one you should be afraid of. Always.
Yeah. Exactly.
You should be asking him if he's okay.
I'm the teddy bear.
He's the nice guy. I'm not so nice.
Yeah.
So but I hate that assution, because there's that assumption.
Of course. Yes.
And then you get, the opposite of, oh, I bet she does whatever you want.
Yeah. And
I get the assumption, oh, I bet you do whatever he wants. It's like, no, we're just married.
Yeah, that's
this is like the people, I don't know, sometimes it feels like they're a freak show, but then I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and there's the actual answer. So look, guys, I mean, interracial couples, it shouldn't be a topic, but it's in the fishbowl, and we were like, hey, we're gonna touch on it anyway. So how we do, unscripted, unedited, and definitely unapologetic. That's how we roll. So real talk, before we go ahead and end this, I want to talk real quick and say, guys, you may have noticed on the previous episodes, we started doing some ASMR stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, guys, check it out. Like, it's actually pretty interesting.
No, it really is.
It really is. It's pretty interesting. We
definitely submersed ourselves into the world of ASMR for 2 days.
Yeah, it is very, very interesting.
We're just now not tired.
Yeah.
We were videotaping it, and it was more of we just wanted to know what it was like to do this stuff. So check out that episode. Yeah, the sound sucks. But no, check out the special on ASMR, because we give a lot of information.
Yeah, it talks about that.
And it's just this amazing phenomenon people are making a lot of money from.
Absolutely.
Which I find incredible. The things we found out during the pandemic that we could make money from. Anyways, quick stat. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Quick stat. So 15% of married couples are interracial. Is that what I said? That ends up being 4 million. So last year, 64 million people got married. So that ends up being
about 4 million of them. What?
So I don't know. Check my math. Tell me if I'm right. But that's really low to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it's a thing. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now we can wrap it up.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's our show on interracial. What's it like being an interracial couple? It's crazy. It's great because we don't think about it.
It's got nothing to do with our marriage.
It's great because we don't think about it. So look, blue and yellow. You guys, absolutely. Make sure you check out the blue and yellow. When we say check out the blue and yellow, is look, donate if you can to those folks over there in Ukraine. They are still fighting the war. You may not hear about it much more as you did on TV, but it's still happening. DMWATSpodcast.com, where y'all can go and find our videos, merchandise, NFT collection. So check it out. You guys can also check us out on the streaming services. We got some crypto going on, but yeah, we'll go from there. So our service dog says goodbye as she's sniffing around for treats under my legs.
Yes. I know she's been, her nose.
Yeah, she's like, where they at? So anyway, signing off for DMWATS podcast. I am Davey.
I'm Misty.
And we will catch you guys on the next one. We are DMWATS, and we'll check you guys later. Okay, take it easy.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good, because you're supposed to.
I know. I kissed you.